And welcome back, my friends. We're honored to be joined by retired Air Force Lt General Thomas McInerney. Sir, thank you for your service to the country on this Veterans Day. We appreciate having you here. And unfortunately, we're talking about election security today. Now, many folks and viewers have been hearing a lot about something called Hammer and Scorecard. First, tell everybody what it is.
Well, Hammer and Scorecard, Hammer is a surveillance tool designed to seek out terrorists, started in 2003. It was converted by the Biden administration into a surveillance tool to listen to American people and record what they were doing. The Scorecard is an application like on your iPhone that can manipulate voting data to keep it within 3%, so it's not obvious, but switch it from Trump to Biden, which the Democrats did in this election. And it is clearly one of the most subtle and stealthy ways of changing voting that there is today. And this is the first massive attack in the United States history. So now there'll be no more free election, Chris, after this one, if we get this issue resolved.
Well, General, I got to ask, because is there verifiable information that the Trump administration can use, that our citizens can see, that we can say that it was deployed in this election against American voters?
Yes, and we will show specifically at what time. For instance, in Michigan at 0400 on the 4th of November, 138,000 votes came in for Biden. We'll show a whole host of these that around the country in the key battleground states that were attacked, the time and how many votes were changed. And we'll have to compare it manually to the votes that went in to the Secretary of State's office and then that came out, the differential. Because people they all realize, I think, that the voting machines are not hooked up to the internet. There are some in Texas that are, but in general they are. They're bundled, go up to the state Secretary of State, and there at certain points, they're shifted onto the internet and distributed. And that's where Hammer is put in, and they put the scorecard application on it and manufacture a different vote total, in this particular case, in favor of Biden. This has to be proved because it'll have to go to a court of law.
In general, of course, this all begs the question now, if this is going to be demonstrated and shown, who has the sophistication and the technology advanced enough to pull something like this off? If this did happen, who did it to us?
Well, I don't know who specifically did it to us, but the fact is, and I'm just starting to hear that the Russians and the Chinese were playing with us as well. And so I can't give you the names. I can tell you that Jim Clapper and John Brennan, the former DNI and former director of the CIA, were involved with the program. 2 weeks after President Obama came in, they shifted it over to a separate CIA facility and went and started listening to U.S. So the people I don't know exactly, but it benefited the Democratic Party. So obviously they were involved with it to shift the voting. And the reason that's important and a great question, Chris, is because you've got to look at the whole situation that we're involved with. Here you had Vice President Biden had a record number of votes, larger than Barack Obama. Now, for a person that didn't do any campaigning, and the largest crowd he had were 12 cars with people blowing horns, never getting out of the basement, did not do one press conference that was an hour long and got real questions, to have gotten the number of votes, the record number of votes he got, that in fact belies the smell test, if you will. And so these other, what we call points of interest or patterns of behavior is the best term. The patterns of behavior don't track. Look at the down low voting from the House. Not one Republican lost his seat that ran again. Look at the number of House seats the Democrats lost. look at the Senate is going to go, I believe, in favor of the Republicans with the 2 Georgian. But the fact was, if the weight of voting was so strong for Biden, why don't the down ballots reflect that? So it's the patterns of behavior that we've got to look at, and it's a sniff test. This doesn't make sense the way it turned out. And the reason is because people aren't really aware of cyber warfare and what the Democratic Party did to shift those votes.
Wow. General, first off, thank you for the service of the country. Thank you for coming on and explaining to us with such clarity what potentially might have happened. A lot of folks looking for explanations, and a lot of folks have been bombarding my inbox with what is Hammer and Scorecard, and we appreciate you carving out time.
Newsmax TV is now America's fastest growing cable news channel. We give you the real news you need. So subscribe to our YouTube channel and give us a thumbs up. If you like this video, share it with your friends. Newsmax TV streams live on YouTube for free. Newsmax TV, real news for real people.